All right, hello everybody. This is Dylan, your host for the first ever Hateful Eight podcast. I'm joined by Mick Hoyle. Mick, say something.
Hello.
Hello, and we got Brandon Berger.
Hello.
And so this pod is probably gonna be a little scuffed, as we get used to the vibe. We'll really get into it after week one, but I thought today we'd start off with talking a little draft, talking about some key matchups that we like, some teams that we thought were interesting, and then maybe some general NFL stuff at the end. But got to start off this pod with a fairly large announcement. So instead of the 8-team playoff that I know we democratically voted on, your commissioner, this is Commissioner Lamp right now, has decided to make...
Your emperor, your ruling emperor.
Has decided to make an executive decision for the good of the league. And I've decided that we're going to do a 6-team playoff instead of an 8-team playoff. And I know that might spark some riots. I know that, and so it's probably seething right now.
Yeah, we're taking it to the streets.
But I think it'll spark more competition. I want y'all sweating as we get towards the end of the regular season. Having to really win those key matchups to make it to the playoffs, and I want to see more people fighting to not have to do the punishment. So I think it'll be good. I don't know if my co-hosts agree, but that's what's happening.
I like we're making decisions and we're gonna roll with it and we're gonna see what happens. So I'm all for it.
Amazing.
All right, well let's clarify. Dylan is making decisions and we're rolling with it. So I'm fine with it. Shout out Kamish. This is a good question live on the pod. Is the toilet bowl a 4-team playoff or are 2 teams not gonna make either?
It's a 4-team playoff. I want 4 people fighting to not to not do the punishment. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I want everyone to have a postseason, obviously, like that, or like a playoff run.
Yeah. Something to fight for.
Exactly. And with that announcement past us, I think we'll just go straight into the draft.
All right, Kamish, you wanna start us off with your draft strategy?
Sure. Right. All right. And let me get the draft pulled up. Okay. So obviously, start off. I picked the 9th pick in the draft. Maybe a little unconventional, but I particularly like the turn. I like being able to go back to back more or less. So, with 1 of 9, I went BTJ. Now, literally, God could have told me to, came down and told me not to pick BTJ at 1 of 9. I was gonna do it. The thought of having a Jaguars player that is actually worthy of being a first-round pick, I didn't think I would have seen in my lifetime. So, I just had to go BTJ.
That's understandable.
Yeah. And so then you go. I like a well-rounded draft. That's been my strategy the past several years. I've done fantasy, and so you go BTJ, then you go Josh Jacobs. For some reason, much to John's dismay.
Who picked Dainty the same round, by the way?
John had Josh Jacobs at the 20th spot, absolutely locked down.
I'd like to say Dainty's my guy. Dainty was my Heisman last year, but I don't know if I see the hype that the sleeper numbers have given him. 17 points per game is a little high.
You talking about Ashton?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's a little absurd. I obviously, we look at him and we're like, I mean, he is truly like a world recognized talent. He's incredible. But it's so rare for a first round running back to like truly be that guy. And like you're going to the Raiders. I mean, no hate to the Raiders, but I'm not personally a believer right now.
But that's what Bijan did last year. So who knows? I think it's replicable. I think it's shown that a young guy can come into this league and dominate from kind of the first week of the season. So I could see it being a possibility.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just I think I mean I went Josh Jacobs here. I think he's I really I don't know. I really like what I see in Josh Jacobs. I couldn't even tell you they're RB2, but that's just a lack of ball knowledge. But
shout out AJ Dillon. He's probably playing COD somewhere.
Honestly, let me look this up live. Emmanuel Wilson. Whoever the fuck Emmanuel Wilson is, maybe I'm outing myself as a lack of ball knowledge. Yeah, I think Josh Jacobs.
Emmanuel Wilson was not drafted by us.
Yeah, I think he has a clear line of sight to getting almost all of the touches at running back, right? So, I like that, and then I like to get a lot of my my top running backs in order. I feel like my RB2 is always like I'm struggling to find someone that like there it's always boom or bust with my RB2, and so I really wanted to solidify that position. And so we went Kyren Williams, right? I think it's a solid pick. I don't know if my co-hosts have any.
I'm a big fan of this Kyren Williams pick. I think Kyren Williams is a dog. I've always thought this. And I was sad to see him go to Dylan. But I'm a fan.
I know it's hard. I mean, for me, it's hard because it's like I just think the running backs are just significantly weaker. I mean, that's always the issue or just in general in fantasy. Like wide receivers tend to matter a lot more, especially in a PPR format. Mm-hmm. So as much as I like Kyren Williams, like again, and I think that's a fine spot to take him. It's just kind of crazy to see that he is almost between him and then at what is that pick 39 or no sorry 29 and no oh my gosh can I I was right 29 pick 29 because we have to go minus 10 this is great math and then between pick 29 and 46 only one other running back was taken, that was Breece Hall. So it's kind of interesting to see that Kyren Williams is the guy that you take at the end of the third round. I don't know. I'm just curious to see how it'll play out. I don't know how much I trust the Rams offense this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that. I think, I always love a Sean McVay offense, so I have no issue picking up Kyren when in my trust of the Rams. But, I do get that. I think when it came to my draft, I did a couple mocks. I don't want to like come out here and say like I've been planning for the draft like all off season, but I wanted to get a couple done, and once I think as soon as Josh Allen was picked at 1 of 4. All of my practice for the draft was immediately thrown out the window. So, we'll get to Alex, which I mean, Alex draft is truly like 1 of 1. But we'll get to him. But, but yeah, I do definitely get what you're saying. I do think I liked a lot of the wide receiver depth in the draft and who I thought I could get in later rounds, which I think is a solid segue into my 402 pick, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Big fan. I don't think I have much to say about this pick, but I like JSN here. I don't know if y'all have any thoughts, but I think
it's a dangerous pick just because new quarterback in Seattle. A lot of people. I didn't watch. I'm not like a Vikings fan, so I didn't watch a whole lot of Sam Darnold. But a lot of people said, he was only good because, he was throwing at Jay Jettas. So I said the two teams I was kind of avoiding as much as possible were like the Lions because of like all the roster upheaval as far as the coaching goes, and then the the Seahawks, especially the wide receivers. I think earlier I could have picked Njigba. I was considering between him and T. Higgins, but then I was like, I mean, fucking the Bengals are going to continue to be ass. It's going to be a shootout every game. So T. Higgins is always going to be a good pick here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I definitely do like the T. Higgins pick. Yeah. I mean, I get that. Mike Macdonald's their head coach, right? I'm a Mike Macdonald believer. I think he can whip up something. I couldn't agree more that Sam Darnold is not the answer at QB. But I think JSN has the talent to, you know, give Sam a solid target, game in and game out. That's why I picked him at 402.
Mm.
And then James Conner. I love James Conner. I don't know what it is about the man, but man, he is my guy. Like, I feel like when it comes to like going into a draft, I always have like a guy that he's my guy, and James Conner is that guy. I love him. He's been my guy for the past several years. He never fails me ever. I love him, and that's why I picked him at 5'9". I know people.
This was the. I was gonna say this is the single pick I was most mad about because I knew that you needed a running back, and I knew Audie was looking at running back. I knew that Enzo wasn't going to take a running back, and I was just hoping that James Conner was going to make that turn because I chose Marvin Harrison over him, thinking that James Conner was going to survive the turn, and then you took him, and I was so upset.
Did you keep thinking Marvin Harrison, bro? He's ass.
We'll get to Biggs.
All right. You also talking about your team, Mr. Trey McBride.
Wow.
What about it?
No touchdown, Trey.
Oh my god. I don't know. We'll get to Mick's pick of Marvin Harrison. I have things to say about y'all's draft. But moving on, we got Davante Adams.
Put a emoji and AJ Brown, bro. What the hell? It was you. Sorry, continue doing.
So we got Davante Adams at my flex. Love that. I don't have much to say other than I think, as long as Aaron Rodgers isn't throwing Davante the ball, I think things are going to turn out well for him. And that's why I picked him at 6 of 2. And then we go on to 7 of 9. And as anyone in the group chat knows,
the infamous Colston Loveland pick.
This is where I started to crash out a little. Because Tyler Warren was picked. Tyler Warren this season was like, he was my draft strategy. My thoughts going in was as long as I get Tyler Warren late in the draft, nothing else matters. I'll be happy. And when Enzo picks him one pick before me, I was pressed. Alex gave him the fucking little sleeper emote with the grad cap.
The grad cap.
I wanted to kill myself, and I crashed out and picked Colston Loveland here. I don't know. We'll see what happens with my tight end position. I would be very surprised if Colston makes it very far with me. But you know what? Maybe he does. That's really all I have to say about that. I don't like my 8 of 2 pick either, if I'm honest, with Chris Olave.
You don't have to talk about the rest of your draft, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
you know it's bad. You know it's bad when John gave you the poop emoji for that.
Yeah, I think Chris Olave, even besides Colston Loveland and Kyle Pitts, I think Chris Olave is single-handedly my worst pick.
Yeah.
I crashed out.
Give 2 more important highlights that we do need to go over, which is you did briefly mention Kyle Pitts, but then your picks in rounds 12 and 13, I think, are instrumental to recap.
Yeah, and love you to death. I think your mic is a little muffled, so you're gonna have to fix that, Bresky.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. But so yeah, I mean the picks that everyone really loves. I mean, I think even 11 of 9 to 12 of 2. I think I really got it together in these consecutive picks. I mean, I'll just throw out Matthew Golden's name real quick. My golden ticket. I think I really got back on the horse with that pick, but we'll see. But you know, Kyle Pitts, if it's ever gonna be his year, it's gonna be now. With Michael Penis. Feeling pretty solid about that.
Shout out.
We got the fucking golden haired prince himself, the one who was talked about in prophecy, Trevor Lawrence. You know, got the stack with BT Day and Trevor, and I don't know. I think this could be a. I mean, if Trevor is going to have a year, it's gonna be this year. And so I'm really not like I'm feeling good about Trevor. I mean, it'll be what it is. I think I'm risking it a little bit, but like just like my mental health. By if you know if Trevor is ass and BTJ is ass, not only am I sad in real life, I'm sad in fantasy. Um, but that's what it is. And then obviously, I mean, the pick everyone loved the most, Jalen Coker, right? So
The GOAT.
yeah, I mean, I think that sums up my draft pretty well. Um, and yeah, no, I mean, I'm feeling good. I think the tight end position is gonna have to get looked at. Um, certainly
Mhm.
through the season, and you know, if Trevor plays bad, I always got Justin Fields off waivers, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, so I think
Justin Fields is also going to be doggy shit, bro.
whoa, do not say that about my son, bro. I'm a Fields truther, so I'd watch my mouth if I was you. Speaking
Alright,
of,
Mike,
John
over.
is a Fields truther because he picked up Garrett Wilson. So we'll
The
see
Garrett
how.
Wilson pick actually pissed me off. I saw that and I was like, John.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how Garrett Wilson over Terry McLaurin works out for John this season.
And Mike Evans. Let's keep in
Mike
mind he passed us up.
Evans.
He passed
Yeah.
us straight to.
Hey, he was going by the numbers. He was going by the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't believe the numbers.
All right. Who would either of y'all like to go next?
Yeah, I'll
Nick,
take
you
it
wanna go or
away.
me? Okay.
Yeah, we'll start off with this first pick. I I was the first two picks went as expected with Jabbar Chase and Bijan Robinson, and then Will took Jameer Gibbs, and I was like, all right, that's a little strange. Like I was thinking Jameer Gibbs might have been an option at like 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then Josh Allen got selected, and I was like, oh, okay.
I love Alex so much. I love his draft. It's
No,
so
I think
peak.
that is like I think that's the single like best pick I've ever seen. No, actually, that third round pick is beautiful. Sorry, real quick to jump ahead. Alec went Josh Allen first round, Jonathan Taylor second, and Zay Flowers third round as wide receiver 1. I mean, that is just beautiful. Like
Dude, it's
that is just a
actually like pure
masterclass.
cinema.
Oh,
I'm convinced Alex balls grew like 3 sizes that day.
yeah.
And he wasn't even saying anything about the picks in the group
Beautiful.
chat as he did it.
Yeah, just a
Radio
beautiful team.
silence from Alec, bro.
Locked in, knew what he was doing, just came in, did his business.
Running back to
Anyways.
his echo.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, anyways, essentially how I feel Lamb kind of fell into my lap, honestly. I was not really expecting him to be there at 7. I thought he was going to go. I was more looking at either Jameer Gibbs or Derrick Henry for this first pick. But since Lamb was there, I don't know. I don't really like trusting the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to fantasy football. I have a bad track record with them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the year that breaks it. I don't know. I think I liked Lamb more than Henry this year, and that was my big sort of selection.
For sure. And I mean, I think as much as we have all our thoughts on the Cowboys, I mean, I think if Dak Prescott stays healthy, obviously they're going to be ass this year, but CD should put up good fantasy points. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
gamble, but yeah, I mean, if Dak is healthy, then you're good.
And then I couldn't quite believe, Dylan, that you took Josh Jacobs over Christian McCaffrey. I was honestly dumbfounded. I didn't like talk about that much when you were talking about your Josh Jacobs pick, but I was very surprised to see Christian McCaffrey fall into my lap. And in fact, if like let's say you had taken McCaffrey, I wasn't even going to take Jacobs. I was probably going to take Neighbors.
Yeah.
Because I wanted Neighbors on my team. Just shout out Big Blue Nation, but uh whatever. I was like, I think McCaffrey has a chance to rebound this year and be excellent, and I was pretty happy to whack out with him and Lamb from
Mhm.
the seventh slot, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly thought about McCaffrey. But I mean, he's such a liability. It's just like in like risk wise, and I don't know. For some reason, Josh Jacobs, like I could like see the writing on the wall for some reason. So I mean, I could
Mhm.
maybe I'm doing like 10-dimensional math, and he's gonna be
Yeah,
ass for me. But we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'd
foresee.
love to see the perspective of some of the other people in the draft, just because it's like I feel like a lot of stuff fell into my lap and a lot of stuff fell into Mitt's lap. Um, like
Yeah, yeah. And
like
and that's kind of exactly what I'm going to say about my next pick, which is Brock Bowers. Again, not a guy I was expecting to take at all. I was expecting him to be off the board by this point. But if I look at the next, group of, the next three picks after him, I don't really want a Chase Brown or a Kyron Williams after taking McCaffrey. I just wasn't interested.
For
you don't
sure.
want Lamar.
And then Lamar, and then another tight end, and then a wide receiver. I was like, why don't I take McCaffrey or not McCaffrey? Why don't I take Bowers here? It just made so much sense to me. So I like Bowers. I hope he does well this year. And then
You're the reason that Tyler Warren didn't come to me, and I hate you for
yeah,
it.
yeah, it started the
It
chain
started with you,
reaction.
and then no, literally everyone's like, "What? Why don't I take a tight end
Yeah, which
as
led
many as I
to
possibly
Audie.
fucking can?"
Yeah, yeah, which led to Audie taking
Shut up.
George Kittle, and then Mark Andrews, and then Dalton Kincaid, which is
God. Oh
a
my god.
strat,
Oh
and
my
we'll see how it
god.
pays out. Uh, but yeah, and so then this was the Jalen Hurts incident. I was out shopping with my friend while I was doing the draft, and I kept
Auto
I was
pick.
like queuing up certain players to like look at, and Jalen Hurts was one of the people that I put on my queue to review who I was selecting. And I wound up just auto drafting him because I put my phone down for a second while I was shopping. But the more I remember being a little peeved in the moment, but the more I thought about it, I think it was a fine spot to take him after the fact that Josh Allen was off the board for due to extraneous circumstances, and then Daniels and Jackson had already gone. I really didn't hate taking Hurts there. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I think it was an all right spot to take him. Maybe a little early, but
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, it makes sense with like ADP. I don't think you got screwed over by auto pick there. I think
no,
it
no.
was funny in the moment, but I mean, it
Yeah,
certainly makes sense.
exactly. I was
My
like,
glorious king Jalen Hurts will grant you a ring.
yeah, he got pretty close. He was two picks away from sliding to you, but who knows? Maybe Alex would have taken him.
I wasn't gonna take him.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going for a Philly thing.
No, I already had two Philadelphia players at
Yeah,
that point. I was like, if I get
A
hurt,
third would be
like that,
crazy.
that's what I'm
that bye
saying. I don't
week
know.
is
Would
that
you
bye
just
week
write
is
it out?
is
Yeah,
gonna fry me.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, and then by the time my next pick was up, this was to me my hardest pick. And it was choosing between Marvin Harrison and James Conner. Now, I could sit here and say that if I'm being completely honest, what I think happened was I told myself I was going to take a running back in this slot because I liked the wide receivers later. And then when I went to actually go make the pick, I just saw the Arizona player, which was Marvin Harrison, and I picked Marvin Harrison, uh, which is fine. Marvin Harrison's cool. He sucked last year. I
I mean,
hope he's
yeah, I
good
don't.
this year. I don't know. I don't hate it. I feel kind of the same about him as I do DK and Devontae and McMillan, where I feel like these dudes could have really good years or they could have really bad years.
Yeah, I mean Marvin Harrison was such a fucking beast in college. I'm certainly not fucking like writing him off quite yet. I think that would be a
Yeah.
little absurd. So
Yeah.
I'm more than
I know,
fine with
Brandon.
it.
I want to hear your thoughts.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like I know, like I'm already riding with the Cardinals a little bit because I have Murray and McBride, but I'm always going to kind of hate the Cardinals because Jonathan Gannon lost us that Super Bowl because his fucking dumbass like is so stupid. And I think Marvin Harrison like had a horrible year last year. However, in terms of like your draft strategy and like who like if you're gonna take a wide receiver, looking at everyone who came after him, like I don't know. I'm definitely not picking DK Metcalf. I don't know. It's a tough pick, like you said, and I think you should have gone with James Conner, but I do think Marvin Harrison could have a breakout year. The Cardinals
that's
were
what I'm
actually
hoping.
the Cardinals were pretty good last year. Like they kind of got they're like 9-8, right? Like they kind of pulled their shit together and they were better than a lot of people thought they would be. Maybe they'll continue that streak this year. You know, I think everyone's got to have like a couple of like reach picks in their draft. I mean, I have a couple of reach picks, so I think it's not a 5-spot Marvin Harrison. I don't think is like the worst thing ever. I just kind of was bagging on you because he was fucking ass last year.
So bad last year, and I'm like, it worries me. Like it worried me in the moment, it worries me now. But yeah, like you're saying, I think the Cardinals are capable of playing well, even though I don't fully believe in them from a general footballing perspective. But I'll take Marvin Harrison in fantasy and hope it works out. I feel like the rest of the draft for this was pretty easy for me. Kenneth Walker to me made the next most sense as the next running back to take. I could have gone with David Montgomery, but I think Kenneth Walker just has naturally a higher upside. He'll just get more touches. George Pickens, I actually really wanted Xavier Worthy, and then Alex took him. But again, George Pickens, I think if the Cowboys are capable, which none of us believe that the Cowboys are going to be good this year, but if the Cowboys somehow wind up being good this year, I think George Pickens will have to play a large part of it, being kind of like the wide receiver two, or in case something happens to Lamb, he steps in as wide
What's the
receiver
name?
one.
What's the name of the new fucking like in-house Cowboys head coach right now? Look at his name.
Does it with an S?
I feel like it does. I mean,
Yeah, look it up.
live on
I
the
think it
pod.
starts with an S. Yeah, live on live pod.
Brian Schottenheimer, bro.
Yeah, Schottenheimer.
I have no faith in that man whatsoever.
Right. It's like, who is this guy? We'll see.
Like
Nothing good will happen to the Cowboys until Jerry Jones is 6 feet under.
Dude, it's so funny. He's just like actively trying to put them back like decades. It's awesome.
Decades at a time. Yeah. I hope Arthur Harvey turns out well. Again, rookie, but I'm fine taking him kind of late. I took Joe Mixon hoping he was going to be fine, and now they're saying he might not play at all this season, so I've already dropped him for Jerome Ford. So
I saw that. I forgot to bring it up earlier, but I thought that was hilarious.
I did that when I logged in to do some research for the pod.
That's so funny.
Rome Odunze, I like his ceiling. I also really like the ceiling of Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be the top running back in Dallas, and I don't. Dallas's offensive line isn't what it used to be, but I actually thought there was a lot of upside. I was really surprised to get him at that pick.
I like Javonte as a player, but I think the Cowboys O-line, it's run pro. It's slated to be so dog this year that I'm a little worried about that pick for you personally. But I mean, it always changes as the weeks go by, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, also out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs that were taken in the rest of the whole draft, I like him the most. So I'm cool taking him there. Was my running back like 5?
You don't like Mr. Irrelevant, Austin Eckler. No. Another dumbfounding pick by Audie.
Because I was gonna say that would interfere with my my pick in the draft. which was round 11, pick 3. Bill Krosky, Bill Krosky and
Oh
Eric.
yeah, Bill.
Will taking Bill. I really liked that pick there. He was a guy that I was hoping to take like in this round, in this slot. And then let's look up. I was like, dang.
I mean,
That was
those
a good
balls.
pick.
That's what
I think
happens.
he's got a high ceiling. So yeah, that's my team. I feel honestly solid about it. I think my second flex is my biggest concern, and I'm hoping that I can do some sort of.
Is that kind of Walker right now, or no? Is that George Pickens? Wait, who's your
Right now with George Harvey.
Oh yeah,
I've got Lamb, Harrison, McCaffrey, Walker, and then I'm starting RJ Harvey over Pickens.
Interesting.
But I'm considering Jerome Ford and Pickens. We'll see. I've got until tomorrow. Which, by the way, got to set your lineups. Thursday, game starts tomorrow.
Oh my god, that was
Eagles
cinema. That was beautiful.
Eagles boys.
Oh, don't worry, my lineup is set.
Yeah. You got to get that locked and loaded. Get yourself all ready. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Brandon for his recap.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about Brandon, especially when we get the 7th round. Oh, that's so awesome.
I'll try to go fast so we can kind of get to everything else.
For sure, yeah, we can make this
I think my draft will more my draft is more strategy based rather than like necessarily player based. However, I will say for the first time in particular, I was trying to kind of read because I had the first pick as far as like where I wanted to be in the draft, so I picked 5 because I knew John was going to go by the numbers, so I know he's going to get Jamar Chase. And kind of in my mind, I was like, there's 3, like there's like the top 3 running backs, and then there's kind of like that second tier, and I really want to get in on that first tier running backs, and I think my best chance to just sneak in is at the 5 spot. Now, granted, my top 3 running backs were Bijan, Saquon, and Derek, which is not played out. But when Alec took Josh Allen, I was like, oh, like we're so good. I don't think Saquon's going to have like a sophomore in Philly slump, so to speak.
For sure.
I imagine he'll probably have not quite as big of a season as he did last year, just because that would be super hard. New OC. But I mean, being an offensive coordinator isn't super hard in Philadelphia. It's like you have Saquon, you have an insane wide receiver duo. Fucking throw to them and hand the ball off. Like it's not rocket science.
I mean,
after that, I was like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, there's no point in like I think about like the first round, as like, did you hit in the first round? Is like, is your running back like top 10? Is your wide receiver top 10? If you're picking a QB, as Alec did, like you better hope that he like is the QB1, right? So like I think you just take Saquon. Like there's no point in trying to fucking like see the future there. That's the answer right there.
Yeah, so I was happy to get one of those top 3 guys I was looking for. After that, I was kind of like, I don't think I'm going to get any of my running back 2s, which is kind of how I ended up with my round 7 pick there. But I went pretty much straight down the board. I was like, I want to get at least 2 wide receivers, and then we're going to see where we're at as far as the tight end situation, because just like the running backs, I thought there's the top 3 tight ends, and then there's literally everyone else. You know what I mean? And I did the Laporta experiment last season. Sometimes he was on, sometimes he was off.
The Laporta experiment.
I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in Laporta as a guy I would pick in the 4th round, especially. Obviously, Trey McBride is probably the worst out of Brock Bowers, George Kittle, and him. But I figured I was like, I really want to get one of these top tight ends, and like I could have gotten like Breece Hall, for example, or like a Chuba, but I was like, let me just get this, because like again, a top 3 tight end versus everyone else's, you're talking about like a 6 or 7 point difference on average per game.
For sure.
So I was like, let's just pick him here. And then after that, we kind of went through. I had another opportunity to pick up, again, Triple Hubbard, Connor. Maybe not Omarion Hampton, but I saw Mike Evans and I was like, this guy, he's a generational receiver. And I also am kind of drafting with like trade capital in mind. So I was like, let me go Mike Evans here. And at this point, I'm sitting there and I'm like, my running back 2 is going to be fucking dogs. So at that point, I was full speed ahead. I was
running backs got fired off after you took Mike Evans.
Right. I was going into round 6 already like thinking to myself, like, I'm going to be drafting another wide receiver. And this is my biggest tragedy of the draft. I've been telling Nick, like, I'm riding high on my boy Cortland Sutton just because I think the Broncos offense, it's not like amazing, but I think Bo Nix is a pretty competent quarterback. And Cortland Sutton is, as far as I'm aware, his wide receiver 1. And so he's like a pretty decent, like, I guess in my case, flex wide receiver 4.
Well, he's not on your team.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I DCC right beforehand. And auto-picked DJ Moore, who I had last year, and he was fucking abysmal. And I fully expect him to be on and off / abysmal again. But I'm not super happy with the DJ Moore trade. Hopefully, I can pawn him off to like John or someone who doesn't really know any better. So I'm really banking on DJ Moore having a good week 1 or 2.
If you're listening to this, take a DJ Moore trade. It's so worth it.
Week 1
He
or 2,
texted me.
He does well.
He texted me yesterday at 8:25 p.m. and said, "Look how ass this trade Brandon was trying to give me," and sent me a screenshot of the trade. So I don't know if he's rocking with the DJ Moore trade. Breaking that news right now.
Fresh news.
Yeah, do you want me to air your trade out to the general public?
Okay. I would like to preface this by saying it was a counter offer to a trade that John put for me, and it was like he was going to give me like Bucky Irving for like Saquon and AJ Brown.
That's crazy, bro. This guy John really understands the art of the deal, and like
art of the deal.
If you're gonna fault John for anything, you don't fault him for that.
When John brings up a bad trade, I make sure to fire out a worse one off at him.
Yeah. So for our listeners, what you call it? Brandon would have received in this trade Jamar Chase and Bucky Irving for Saquon Barkley and DJ Moore. I texted him. I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if that's if that's the best trade for you. I think it's a little slanted in Brandon's favor." But so yeah.
Anyway, so moving on from DJ Moore, we have our boy TreVeyon Henderson,
the actual chosen one. I love this pick with all my heart.
My running back 2 picked in the 7th round.
Oh, it's so tough.
And so, okay, the story behind this pick is I'm sitting there. Pacheco's just been chosen. I was going to draft Pacheco anyway, but I'm looking at like who's left, and it's like literally like DeAndre Swift, Eagles legend, like Tony Pollard, like Aaron Jones. I'm like, oh geez, like this is bad. And then my boy Solomon is sitting next to me on the bus because I'm on a bus to Atlanta, and he's like, low key, TreVeyon Henderson is gonna be tough. And
this guy knows ball, dude.
Yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm picking my running back in the 7th round. Like, fuck it. Like, this will be my reach pick. So I draft TreVeyon Henderson. No idea who the fuck this guy is. I find out he's a rookie running back from Ohio State, starting for the shit ass Drake May led, and apparently Tommy DeVito QB3. Dobbs is on this team.
What?
This is a loaded team. Okay, guys. Drake May, Dobby is free, and Tommy DeVito.
Yeah,
All
no,
on the same
I thought you were
QB room.
talking.
This is fucking insane.
I thought you were talking about someone's fantasy team. I was like, did someone sneak in a Dobbs pick that I didn't notice?
That's the namesake for Alex's team.
Oh, it's so tough.
Yeah, and then after that, I mean, it was, I don't know if you guys have any further thoughts on TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna. I mean, I think the biggest, like, the last like big name on your draft is probably Kyler Murray, your QB.
Yeah, I was also waiting pretty long on Kyler Murray again. Like after Bo Nix went, I was like, no quarterback is getting drafted until much later. So I literally just sat on it for a while.
Dog, you have a crazy running back room.
Yeah,
Right.
Barkley, Henderson, Jonathan Mason, and Jordan Mason, and Vishal Tootin.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
oh yeah.
it's so
Let's not
late.
forget about my last pick, Virginia Tech legend, soon to be running back one on the Jags, Vishal Tootin.
it literally is the truth. And if this was a dynasty league, like I would like say that Brandon for the next several years is going to have like a generational team. But like I think like Vishal Tootin literally has like the potential for like even this year to have like a real solid run like in our running back room. I think he's already going to get like a good amount of touches, and I mean, I just think like his whole preseason was so elite. He looks so good out there. I mean, I think talking a little Jags ball, I think like you see Travis Etienne leave this year. I mean, it's a contract year for him, and I mean, our running back room will be Tank Bigsby, the GOAT, and then Vishal Tootin is the next guy up, and I think he would take over certainly Etienne's role. So I think you know, I'm really excited for Vishal.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap it up here. The last pick I took about is my GOAT, Young Ho Koo. My old bitch whack, but my Young Ho Koo. He was low-key dog shit for me last season, but I'm drafting him again because I don't give a fuck.
No,
Let's move on.
Penis will put him in scoring position. He's the answer.
He's the answer.
I think from here, I think do any of y'all like want to point out specific? I mean, we've touched on other people's drafts a little bit here and there, but if there's anyone in particular you want to, or any single particular like draft,
Can we talk about Audie's draft?
I would love to talk about Audie's draft.
Audie's Audie's first 7 picks to me, I think are really good.
For sure.
Like I really like getting both Nacua and St. Brown that just answers your wide receiver position. Maybe Lamar's a little early, but sure, it's Lamar Jackson. You're betting he could be a QB1. I like the George Kittle pick. And then I actually like walking out with Kamara and Jones. Like I think he might have a chance.
Kamara.
Yeah, I think there's just like a chance that both of those guys
Are solid RBs.
have good seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I was looking at his team earlier because I literally had his team down as one that I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. And then 7th round, after taking George Kittle, Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
First pick of the 8th round. Boom. Jordan Addison, 9th round, suspended. Boom. Quinshon Judkins, running back, I don't know, 2 or 3, who still hasn't signed his rookie deal with the Cleveland Browns yet. Boom. So, Audie, if you're hearing this, I hope your team goes well, but man, your bench is something else.
It's like actually pure cinema. I love it so much. It's like you could like tell me like that like the first 7 picks were done by a completely different person. Like,
Hey, let's not sleep on the fact that he was the first of the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Oh,
Ball Miller.
I did love that. I liked the early early defense pick. I thought it was great.
That was actually going to be my next pick, and I was kind of mad that he grabbed it.
I just love that he was like, you know what? I'm not sure. What if George Kittle and Mark Andrews gets hurt, and I need to put in? Let me pick up Dalton Kincaid. I think that I think Audie like truly like is seeing something in the stars, like writing on the walls that we can't possibly comprehend.
I clicked on his profile, and the headline about him reads, Dalton Kincaid, unlikely to be full-time player.
Oh my gosh! Literally, this is like when you see like you're like look like you see you're like you look at bets and stuff, and you see something that's like absolutely absurd, and you're like, what does Vegas know that I don't? I look at Audie's draft, particularly the bottom half, and I'm like, what does he know that I don't? I like it's pure cinema.
Let's just say his bye week will not be a problem in the tight end position.
Yeah.
No, he's got that on lock. Yeah.
No, so yeah, I mean, I love Audie's. I'd like to quickly touch on Alex. I know we've already talked about it already, but I mean, those first 3 picks are just like truly like cinema. And
First 4, like
Javonte,
the cherry on
Jameson.
top of being Jameson Williams is beautiful.
It's awesome. And then I love that he picked up. I had made a joke about him drafting Khalil Shakir in the second round, but I like to think Alec was like, let me take note of that. And then you go down and he a calm little pickup in Khalil Shakir in round 11. I mean, like truly
Khalil Shakir actually did numbers for me last year. Unironically, Khalil Shakir was a good flex player for me. Oh wait, no, he was my wide receiver too.
That's actually really that's insane. Well, you know what? I mean, Alec knows something that we don't. I'm loving that.
Yeah. The other 2 teams I wanted to give a quick shout out to were like my kind of 2 sleeper drafts. I think Carson's team has massive boomer bust potential this year.
In my notes it says boomer bust Carson.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think if the Dolphins are able to play competent football, his team can be nuts. I think getting Bijan is just awesome. I think Terry McLaurin fell away more than he should have. I think he's built for a boomer bust. And the other guy I wanted to shout out was Alex. I really like Alex's team this year. And I really liked his team last year, and frankly, he kind of got robbed.
Dude, he deserves so much more than he got, bro. Oh my god.
Alex, you've got a good squad this year, and I think there's a good chance it'll work out for you.
Yeah. Brandon, you got any more thoughts?
I
don't know, bro. It's Chuck Norris.
John's team is funny.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to
my favorite. I think my favorite 3 stretches of picks by any player were Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp, and Tyrone Tracy.
John tried to trade Tyrone Tracy to me today for DJ Moore.
Auto accept.
That literally is an auto accept, bro.
I was like, buddy, unless his name is Cam Scadaboo, I don't want a giant on my team.
Yeah, no.
There's nothing in the RB2.
Yeah, I mean, I like
to matchups.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say one more thing about John. I think this is a real big year for him. Going into from year 1 to year 2, I think a lot of people, the masses were wondering, who even is similar to Brian Schottenheimer. People were like, who is this John guy? Right? Like people were questioning why he was hired to be the owner. He picked up Harrison Butker pretty early on, and people were certainly surprised by that pick. And I think he's made a lot of improvement from year 1 to year 2. So I'd like to see what has he changed his name from Burrows? Oh wait, it's the numbers game. Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers game.
I'd like to see what newly named the numbers game can do this year. But yeah, we'll see. So that was the draft. It took a while to get through that, but we're making good time, and
It's draft week. We got draft
for sure. So obviously we don't have previous weeks to talk about this draft or this episode, right? So me and my co-host were thinking we would talk about some teams to watch, some matchups that we like this week, and go from there. Brandon, Mick, would either of y'all like to go first about just anything in particular about teams and or matchups?
I can go.
All right.
In my mind, I think the matchup to watch is Enzo versus Carson, just because we were talking about the draft. Like Carson's team is like so boom or bust. There's 2 Qs next to 2 of his starting players. You'll love to see that. Again, like a solid like 36 of his points are coming from Dolphins players. And if I'm being honest, I do not believe the Dolphins whatsoever. Like, I think I had the opportunity to pick Tyreek Hill like twice. I avoided his ass at the plague. I think Njoku is not bad. Devontae Smith, tough. But honestly, like, if I'm going to be honest, I see Enzo winning this matchup. Like, a sleeper has Carson as a favorite, but like so many of those points again are coming from these shit-ass Dolphins players that I really don't believe in. But all that being said, like, I think this is like the most interesting matchup to watch. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this particular.
That was also in my notes as well. Carson Enzo was my matchup to watch. I mean, I just like it particularly because Enzo finished third last year in the playoffs. Carson is our toilet bowl winner, loser, whatever you want to call it. So I just think that's really fun. And I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't know. Have y'all seen the stuff where Devon Achane went live on Instagram and just did nothing and like stared at the camera?
Stared at the camera. Yeah, I saw that.
That's tough.
People he's questionable for injury, and people are like, "Is he okay?" I mean, yeah.
Questionable maybe plays for the
Yeah, his RB2 is staring at a wall basically for like a couple minutes on Instagram Live. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see what Carson could do this year. I do also agree that the Dolphins are going in the wrong direction. But I don't know. I pray. This is like me just like truly being a hater, but I pray that Jaden Daniels has a sophomore slump. I don't know if it'll happen.
I'm with you.
Who knows? But man, is that so? Is our Eagles fan hoping for that?
Praying on his downfall.
I mean, I
hope his Achilles explodes.
His Achilles explodes.
That's crazy.
No, literally, he literally is the RG3 of like this generation, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, so that was my matchup to watch. Mick, did you have a different team to look at?
Yeah, I'm going in a different direction for my matchup to watch. I've got Alex versus Brandon as my matchup.
Hey.
When you look at the matchups, the two teams, I think you guys are kind of similarly matched up. You have different, like, I'd say the teams have slightly different strengths, and I think really what it's going to come down to is the performance really of James Cook and Chuba Hubbard. I think both of those guys have questions to be answered. As does TreVeyon Henderson. I think that is the biggest hole on Brandon's team at the moment. But hopefully, you would hope that those wide receivers, the duo of Evans and Moore, can outscore Worthy and Swift. And I'm looking, getting down into the numbers, this defense matchup. I think starting the Lions defense against a potent Green Bay offense, as opposed to Denver playing the Titans, who, if I'm not mistaken, the Titans had the worst offense in the NFL last year. Obviously, they have
And
Cam
winning
Ward,
the
but I think, as we all know in fantasy, defenses can truly make or break a game sometimes. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Denver be the difference maker and lead Brandon to a win.
No, I love that analysis. I'm very curious to see when it comes to Alex. I'm curious about that Drake London and penis connection. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I like it this year. I like the London penis connection.
yeah. I mean, I'd be I'd be comfortable saying that penis just has like a couple of good games. Just as like and that like I think he has the talent where like while I'm comfortable saying this at least is that um like he has the talent that while teams are getting tape on him, and he's a bit of an unknown right now. Like I think I'd like to say that Atlanta's going to have a good start to the year, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just think in general, if you look at least the players team wise, I think I have an advantage there. I think that Jacksonville Panthers game, if we're talking NFL, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think these are two.
It was my NFL game of the week. Panthers.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
like
sir.
for real, those are kind of the two like big question mark AFC NFC teams. Like a lot of, I'd say my question is like, are they going to make that next step? You know, they couldn't. Like the Jags and the Panthers have shown flashes of greatness. So, and Travion Henderson against the Raiders, obviously, like that running back matchup, if you want to call it that, like could be very interesting. I think T. Higgins versus Drake London. I think Drake London is a dog, but the Cleveland Browns are fucking ass. So I do like a lot of my matchups here. I like my flex guys against his flex guys. I hope Young Ho doesn't shit the bed. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it came down to like the kicker and the defense. But I do think pound for pound, a lot of my starting guys probably have come outdone. Quarterback wise, I think I'd probably be making up a couple points. But yeah, looking forward to this opening week. In rivalry matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was
divisional matchup.
Mhm.
Do we want to briefly? I know we're kind of approaching the end of our time here, but do we want to talk about the divisions at all? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Sorry, yeah, I was gonna say I'm the only one not getting me and Audie are not the only ones not getting a division matchup this week. So everyone else will see someone in the division and be fighting for a division win. So I think that's really exciting. We'll see how that all shakes out.
Season, yeah, that's massive. That'll be huge to watch.
Yeah. So, I'm very excited. I think if y'all have anything to say about NFL storylines in general, we could touch on that. Y'all brought up the Jags Panthers game. I'd love to talk Jaguars football for hours, but
no, I just brought it up. Yeah, as a game to watch. I think it'll be very interesting to watch both of those teams with high expectations. I would say like Jags certainly have high expectations. Panthers just to see what kind of step they take,
yeah,
or if they're going to take a step. The other game that I noted, it's kind of interesting one to note, but Texans versus Rams. I think these are two teams that are going to be fighting for wild card spots this season, and so I think this is like a really kind of early game where you're not playing someone in your division. It's like one of these random one-off games that is going to give one of these teams a win that I think is going to matter a lot come the wild card / playoff run.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more.
I agree with the Jags and Panthers game. That's going to be a fun one for sure. 1 p.m., middle of the day. It's like probably 1 or 2 beers in. It's going to be a nice, fun game of football to watch. Another game I have on my radar, besides Cowboys Eagles, I'm looking very much forward to us blowing them out in the link.
Belt to ass.
Belt to ass. Thank you, Jerry. Chiefs Chargers. I think. I'm not sure if I'm. Yeah, I'm not totally buying into everyone on their whole like oh, like the Chiefs, like this is the end of like the dynasty, just because like we beat them in the Super Bowl. Like the Chiefs are still like a good team. They still have great coaching and everything. But
Yeah.
I would really love to see the Chargers or even the Broncos, but I don't know if it's the Broncos, but perhaps the Chargers start to make moves towards kind of taking over the division, making a legitimate play for winning the AFC West. Obviously, because everyone hates the Chiefs, but as much shit as I give Justin Herbert, like he's he's a cool guy. The Chargers are a fun team. They will inevitably choke out playoffs like they always do.
Yes, sir.
But if they were to win the division, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like that analysis. I think the AFC West could have. I mean, it's always you never know, but they could have like three playoff teams. I mean,
Yeah.
the Broncos, the Chargers, the Chiefs. The Chiefs. Like,
Forget about the
no-
Raiders.
oh, sorry. I got it all
The
mixed
Geno
up.
Smith led Raiders.
Hey, I'm a Geno truther. All right, so watch your mouth. But I think the only other fun game, I don't know if it's necessarily one to watch, but well, I mean, some people in our league will be watching the Giants and the Commanders. I think it'll be fun.
Yes,
I'd love to see a little shit talk between Mick and our resident Commander fan, and so I think that'd be pretty
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, I mean, other than that,
Absolutely. No, we'll see what happens with the Giants this year. I mean, like you were doing with the Jags, like I feel like we talked about the Giants for hours, but it'll be really interesting to see the Giants with a quarterback that isn't Daniel Jones for the first time in 6 seasons. It'll be very interesting.
yeah, and I mean for sure as we get later on, I think we'll talk a little bit more NFL ball. Obviously the draft took up a large part of this episode, but like as we get some more tape, we'll be able to talk about the teams a little bit more, and I think it'll be really exciting. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, I think that'll wrap it up for the first ever episode of the podcast.
Hell yeah.
The first ever podcast.
The first ever podcast. The first ever group of 3 white boys to come together to talk some ball. I think we're really breaking ground, and I'm really proud of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, for I hope all the bitch asses in the Hateful Eight tuned in, but for those who did, I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all later.